Hey guys, welcome back to Sense or Sense. My name is Evan, and today I come to you and I want to talk about Chase and the big banks and what they're proposing given some additional regulation that's coming out in the very near future. I want to give you my take. I want to talk about an article that the Wall Street Journal published about it, and I want to tell you some things that you can do towards the end that can counteract it and or kind of stick it to the big banks. So stick around and we'll talk about it. I want to jump into the article now. I would love to talk to you guys more about all these different things. If you could like this video and subscribe to the channel, I can bring you more good content in the future. I have about 25 years of experience in the industry, and I want to bring you more additional content like this in the future, and I appreciate the support of the channel. Let's get right into it. So this article was published over the holiday weekend, and it basically just says that JP Morgan warns customers prepare to pay for checking accounts, which I find a funny headline, to be honest with you. But they've been saying this for a long time, that they're going to charge you for their services. That's what banks do. But in reality, what they're doing is they've always just kind of made these idle threats, and then they issue more additional ways of making money elsewhere. For instance, when was the last time you got an interest check from a bank that was worth anything? I think JP Morgan Chase, I have a Chase account, my wife has a Chase account because of the convenience. We've got local banks all around us that we can go to and deposit, and that's what they're good for, you know. But when was the last time you got an interest payment from your bank that was worth more than 1% or 2%? I can get 5% at my brokerage accounts on cash. So I just find this a little bit funny, but it goes in here. It says the head of America's biggest retail bank has a warning for its 86 million customers to prepare to pay for your bank accounts. Marianne Lake runs Chase Bank, the sprawling franchise inside JP Morgan's Chase, that the country's biggest bank for consumers and one of its biggest credit card issuers. Lake is warning that the new rules that will cap overdraft and late fees will make everyday banking significantly more expensive for all Americans. Lake said Chase is already planning to pass on the cost of higher regulation and charge customers for a number of now free services, including checking accounts and wealth management tools. I mean, this is something that they've been saying for years, going all the way back to as early as the financial crisis of 2008 and 2009. I remember Chase and a bunch of the other big banks getting together and saying, we're going to charge you a lot more money because federal regulators are saying we have to keep more money in our accounts. We have to ultimately be safer about how we do our business. And they said, if we can't loan money and we have to keep more money in our accounts and not be able to utilize that money elsewhere, then we're going to have to charge our customers more. That didn't ever materialize in a lot of different ways. But you know, you saw during the pandemic that Chase ultimately and a lot of the other big banks cut their hours that they were open. They reduced the number of banks that they had open. They might have had the drive-through open for a period of time, but then they closed the interior. They closed the actual bank itself. I know that my local Chase Bank, the lobby doesn't open until 9 at the largest bank here near me, but a lot of the Chase and Bank of America banks around me aren't open until 10. And I think Bank of America doesn't even open their lobby in some cases unless you have an appointment. I know that's some of their locations. So, you know, the banks complain about not making enough money, but then they have these crazy, 10 to 4 hours. They close the interior of their bank down. It's like, it doesn't seem like they're hurting that badly to be able to make these claims. So let's go on with the article now. The changes will be broad, sweeping, and insignificant, Lake said. The people who will most be impacted are the ones who can least afford to be, and access to credit will be harder to get. This isn't the first time banks have said this, as I stated earlier. The banks said that their only option is to pass on their cost to customers, but that's not true. President of Better Markets and economics think tank that is in favor of the proposed bank regulations Yet again, banks are dressing up their attempts to maximize their own profit under the guise of what's good or bad for customers. Banks are saying this time could be different because of the scale of the new financial regulation in Washington. Agencies such as the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau are proposing an $8 cap on credit card late payment fees and a $3 cap for overdraft bank fees. They're also planning for future limits on debit card fees and much other charges to software companies like Venmo and Cash App for accessing and using their customers' data. So this is no big news here, I don't think. There are protection agencies out there for consumers that are trying to reduce the amount of impact on especially low-income consumers for purposes of late fees, overall daily fees, and stuff that affect people that have bank accounts with low balances, as well as people that just have had problems in the last couple of years. And this has always been a case that there's always going to be something like this out there, and the banks always turn around and they flip it around and they say, we're gonna charge more for this. And in some ways they have to. There were a lot of services many years ago that were free that now cost money. And there's no way around it. I used to be able to walk into a bank and get a signature verification, or maybe a free wire transfer or a free book of checks, something like that. And they're now charging for a lot of that stuff. So, it is something that has been changing in the banking industry, but it's no different. I don't think that these companies are going to start charging for actual bank accounts outside of the fact that they are hitting you up with low interest rates. I think that's how they're making up for it. It used to be when interest rates would increase, the banks would also massively increase their amount they would pay you in your accounts, and that's just not the case anymore. They've kept those interest rates low in those accounts. And I think that ultimately, when they say they're going to charge you for these accounts, I think that's how they're going to charge you. They're going to charge you through low interest rates and back end fees that don't affect most people unless you have very specific reasons. And I just think that one of the ways that you can combat some of this, and this is an important point, is just make sure that you're not getting hit with a monthly fee. A lot of banks have minimum deposits for their accounts, and you have to keep that minimum deposit in your account and make low interest. That's kind of what I believe to be the cost of doing business with a bank like Chase. I believe in my personal account I have to have $1,500, and if I have dip below that, they charge me, I think it's $15 a month or $14.95, something along those lines. Yeah, and it's unfortunate that you have to keep $1,500 in the account and not earn any interest. But that's kind of what I consider to be convenience, to be able to go and deposit, withdraw, have a local branch that I can walk into if I need something. As long as I'm not paying a fee, I'm okay with losing out on the interest on that account. But I did say I wanted to give you some ways to combat this. One of the things I think that's important is that if Chase says they're going to raise their rates on you, then go out there and do something with regards to getting a credit card that's issued by Chase that can give you some additional cash back, or you can utilize for sign-up bonuses. They're giving away tens of thousands of points on a regular basis for sign-up bonuses. Go get a new sign-up bonus. Earn those free points on their credit cards and then pay it off every single month. And that's a way to reduce the overall cost that you'll have on the banking industry. I think, another way that you can do it is, like I said, just keep that minimum deposit in there for a period of, for as long as you need to keep the overall monthly fees from accruing. Yes, if you want to go take some money out via the ATM and you drop below that for a day or two, that's probably fine because they do it on a rolling 30-day basis. But just understand, a part of doing business with these large banks is they want to have some of your money for free, essentially. So go get the credit cards, go take advantage of some of the other services. I go in, I get some other services taken care of for free. I talk to a banker about once a year about different services that they might have that are beneficial to me. Ask a banker, set up an appointment with a banker and ask them what kind of services they can do for you for free. And I've found that I can get some notarization of documents for free. Usually places like UPS and FedEx stores charge $10 to $20 for those services. A lot of the time, Chase will do that for free. So that's a way to kind of keep your expenses low on the other side of things. So I want to bring this to you guys today, just as kind of a summary of what they're talking about in the industry and give you some ways to combat it. I think the biggest way is just to get credit cards and utilize them, pay them off every single month, take advantage of the free money that they offer you on those credit cards instead of, maybe them hitting you with some fees elsewhere. Just remember, don't stockpile all your money in a large bank. It's never a good idea for a lot of different reasons. At any rate, my name is Evan. This is Sense or Sense. I'd appreciate it if you like this video. You could give me a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. And I'll see you next time. Thanks for tuning in today.